So I had the auxiliary down at 40%. That's a chunky one. Oh, junglage. So I'm putting this Construction Attachments heavy duty mower on for the first time, and I made one mistake already. I released the hydraulic pressure and I went and plugged one of these in and the thumb went, so I forgot to switch from the thumb to the auxiliary. So plug this in and get it going. All right, here's a look at the underside. This is what I wanted to see, if it's bi-directional, because you could change the auxiliary, and it appears to be. Look at them teeth on there, that's pretty nice. So I should be able to move it either way. All right, at first I thought because of the blade configuration it operates in either direction, but I was incorrect. The hydraulic motor only goes one way. However, you'll see in this video it was a little bit tricky to get it paired up with the Bobcat, because the Bobcat has this massive computer with all kinds of settings on there. But I figured it out, but it took me a while, which you'll see. So anyways, the blades have dual sides on them, so if you wear out one side, then you could just flip it over and start on a brand new on the opposite side of the blades. Not sure if any of you guys noticed it. Luckily I picked it up the first time I wasn't fully locked in my quick attach. It was barely hanging on, so made sure I got that fixed. It's a little trickier getting this locked in a bucket, but it's not that big a deal. So I wasn't sure where I wanted to run the hoses. I tried them behind the boom, but I didn't like how they could pinch in here, you know, because you're constantly lifting this thing. So I ran them in the front, bunged them together, bunged them to the frame. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's try and put the Flexon shield on and see how that goes. Alright, so I did have a short snippet of this in yesterday's vlog video, but today's the real deal. So if you're new to the channel, or if you're just looking at this brush cutter, my buddy Phil and I fabricated this polycarbonate shield, and it only cost me like 1/3 of what the actual steel screen would have cost from Bobcat.
The way you work, it doesn't matter. You're better off to not see anyway.
Did I just waste $700? No, I wouldn't. Put a link in the description below. So let's put it on and we'll see how it's going to work for the first time. Got my pins. Alright, here's a new look at the windshield. The first look at it. It's all strapped in, ready to go. That's why I always keep spare parts. Alright, so initially I had to use my thumb manually to turn this thing on and off to keep the blade spinning, because I went through the computer of the Bobcat and the closest attachment was a flail mower. So I tried that, but the direction was opposite of this this brush cutter. So I had thought about switching the hoses around, and I'm like, no, let me keep looking. But for now I'm using my thumb, and I got to hold it down manually to keep it spinning clockwise the way it's going. But the first thing I wanted to try is just do like a one swath cut and keep the excavator moving down the driveway and try a one swath cut, meanwhile holding down with my right thumb, and we'll get to that next. But let's try this first and then go from there. I'm kind of getting a hang of where I could just keep moving and cut off, you know, a couple feet here on the edge. Some spots, that's all I'm going to be doing. That's what I didn't want to brushing up on her and you know, getting ticks and scratches and all whatnot. So this is just going to be a one swipe here on the very edge of this ditch. So now she'll be able to mow like, you know, 12, 18 inches farther over. Plus this will help her be able to see the edge of the ditch. Not half bad. Alright, so this took a little practice, but by the end of the driveway I did one entire side on this particular day. I got better at it. In the next video you'll see I'm going to do the pond dam, and we put a little sharpen on the blade and it turned out a lot better. Finally figured out the continuous flow. That makes it a lot easier, because otherwise I was holding it down with my thumb. I set it up as a flail mower, but it was the wrong direction. So I set it up as an auger, and now it's going the right direction. Much better. Surprised how important that thumb is. Takes some getting used to, because the tilt is opposite of what a bucket is, if that makes any sense. It's kind of counterintuitive. You're constantly curling a bucket this way, but now you're constantly tilting it the opposite way. So I imagine it'll take some getting used to. The good news is, so far though, I could extend it out all the way over the side and not feel tippy at all. So I don't need to invest in a counterweight, which is like $2,000. Another reason why I went with the R series, because it was 1,000 pounds heavier than the original E42. I'm fully extended right there, and I don't feel tippy at all. had the auxiliary down at 40%. You could hear it idling down. So I'll keep it at 80 for a while. I could tell it sped up the blade here. Alright, keep going. This is where I was just taking the one strip, but you know, some of these trees are just a little too close. I mean, ideally you want your driveway to stay in the sun. It'll last a lot longer if it's in the sun, for obvious reasons, but it dries a lot faster after rains. I'm very happy with the stability though of the R series. I was worried if I was going to need to get a counterweight. There we go. Alright, I'm almost up to the road on finishing one side of the driveway. It's not a finished mower. For sure it looks a little ugly, but once Sharon comes and mows wider, it's going to look a lot better, and it's not meant to be a finished mower. It's meant to be a brush cutter. That's what it is. So I've already picked up a bunch of tips just by using it, but I'll finish up here.